Hello everyone. There are some summers that feel like they were meant to last forever. Filled with laughter at late-night parties, awkward first dances, and a love story that changed everything. Dirty Dancing was more than a box office sensation in 1987. It became a timeless symbol of youth, passion, and rebellion. But like every dance must end, time has taken many of the faces we once loved. Today, we open that door to the past and see where they are now. Johnny Castle, portrayed by Patrick Swayze at the age of 34, felt like a role he was born to play. Johnny was far more than a gifted dance instructor at a summer resort. He was a working-class man shaped by hardship, raised in a world of struggle, sacrifice, and hard lessons. That background gave Johnny his rough edges, rebellious spirit, and guarded heart. On the surface, he carried himself with confidence and defiance, but underneath was a man deeply protective of his dignity, carrying scars that life had left behind. That emotional depth made Johnny more than just a romantic lead. He became a symbol of passion, vulnerability, and the kind of love that could change a life forever. Patrick Swayze was born on August 18, 1952, in Houston, Texas, and trained in ballet from an early age under the guidance of his mother, a respected choreographer. Long before becoming a Hollywood icon, his dance background gave him the physical grace and discipline that would later define many of his most famous roles. In 2008, Swayze was diagnosed with late-stage pancreatic cancer, a battle he faced with extraordinary determination while continuing to work despite the pain. On September 14, 2009, he passed away at the age of 57 after complications from pancreatic cancer that had spread to his liver, leaving behind a legacy of strength, talent, and unforgettable screen presence. Dr. Jake Houseman, portrayed by Jerry Orbach at the age of 51, brought the image of a father who seemed strict on the surface but stood as the moral backbone of the entire story. Jake was a successful physician from an educated Jewish family, a man who spent his life healing others while building his home on discipline, responsibility, and principle. In the glamorous world of the summer resort, he represented order, honor, and fierce protection over his daughters. Though often firm and uncompromising, Jake's decisions always came from love, making him one of the film's strongest emotional anchors and a powerful symbol of fatherhood. Jerry Orbach was born on October 20, 1935, in New York, and built a remarkable career on both stage and screen. Long before becoming widely recognized in film and television, he was celebrated as one of Broadway's most powerful performers, winning a Tony Award and earning a reputation as one of America's most unforgettable stage voices. In his later years, Orbach battled prostate cancer after it spread beyond its original diagnosis. He passed away on December 28, 2004, at the age of 69, leaving behind a legacy of strength, talent, and timeless performances. Max Kellerman, portrayed by Jack Weston at the age of 62, perfectly embodied the image of a wealthy resort owner who represented the glamorous yet calculating world of the upper class. Max was the man behind everything, from elegant dinner parties to elaborate dance performances, treating the entire resort like a finely tuned machine built to make money. He recognized the talent and value of Johnny and the dancers, but often saw them more as assets to entertain guests than as people with struggles of their own. That made Max an important symbol of the social divide running beneath the film's romance and passion. Jack Weston was born on August 21, 1924, in Cleveland, and built a long, respected career across both Broadway and Hollywood. Known for his sharp comedic timing and strong stage presence, he became one of the most reliable character actors of his generation. In his later years, Weston quietly battled non-Hodgkin lymphoma, a fight he kept largely private. He passed away on May 3, 1996, at the age of 71 from complications related to the disease, leaving behind decades of memorable performances. Robbie Gould, portrayed by Max Cantor at the age of 28, became one of the most infuriating characters in the story. Robbie was the handsome young waiter who looked polished and charming on the outside, but underneath was selfish, dishonest, and deeply irresponsible. He used Penny for his own pleasure, left her pregnant, and then coldly denied any responsibility, becoming the direct cause of one of the film's most painful tragedies. Robbie represented the hypocrisy of privileged youth, always talking about bright futures and big ambitions, while abandoning others the moment things became inconvenient. That made him one of the film's most important reminders that not every smiling face can be trusted. Max Cantor was born on July 15, 1959, in New York, and took a very different path after his role in Dirty Dancing. Rather than building a long Hollywood career, he moved into investigative journalism, where he became known for immersing himself deeply in dangerous stories involving drugs and crime. Many saw him as a young talent with enormous potential, but his commitment to chasing the darker truths of real life eventually pulled him into that same world. On October 31, 1991, Max Cantor died at the age of 32 from a heroin overdose, bringing a tragic end to a life many believed was only beginning. Mrs. Schumacher, portrayed by Paula Truman at the remarkable age of 90, brought a small but deeply nostalgic presence to the story. As one of the older guests at the resort, Mrs. Schumacher represented an earlier generation, the people who came to places like this to preserve tradition, manners, and the fading elegance of a world slowly disappearing. Though her screen time was brief, she helped ground the setting in something authentic, like a living reminder of the values and customs that shaped the era. Paula's ability to still deliver such natural and steady performances at nearly 100 years old was extraordinary, even by Hollywood standards. Paula Truman was born on August 25, 1897 in New York, and built a career that stretched across nearly the entire evolution of modern American entertainment. She became a respected Broadway presence as early as the 1930s, known for intelligent, commanding performances that earned her lasting admiration in theater circles. Truman devoted almost her entire life to the arts, witnessing firsthand the transformation of both stage and film across the 20th century. She passed away on March 23, 1994, at the age of 96 from natural causes and complications of old age, closing a career that had lasted for generations. Frances "Baby" Houseman, portrayed by Jennifer Grey at the age of 27, became the emotional heart of the entire story. Baby was a young woman raised in comfort, shaped by the careful values of an educated middle-class family, yet quietly longing to step beyond the safe world her parents had built around her. At first, she was innocent, idealistic, and convinced that kindness could fix almost anything. But as the story unfolded, Baby began to see the world with clearer eyes, discovering love, injustice, and the painful truth that growing up often means losing the simplicity you once believed in. That journey made her one of the most relatable coming-of-age heroines of her generation. Jennifer Grey was born on March 26, 1960, in New York, and quickly rose to become one of Hollywood's brightest young stars by the late 1980s. Her performance in Dirty Dancing turned her into an icon almost overnight, cementing her place in pop culture history. But in the early 1990s, a decision to undergo rhinoplasty unexpectedly changed the course of her career, altering the face audiences had come to instantly recognize. The transformation affected her public identity in ways few could have predicted. Now at 66, Jennifer lives a quieter life, focusing on yoga, meditation, writing, and reflecting on a career forever tied to one of the most beloved films of its era. Marjorie Houseman, portrayed by Kelly Bishop at the age of 43, brought the image of a traditional mother filled with quiet emotional depth. Marjorie stood between two worlds, a principled husband on one side and children growing older, more independent and increasingly rebellious on the other. Coming from an educated and stable background, she represented gentleness, grace, and the kind of unspoken understanding that often holds a family together. She was never the source of conflict, but her presence gave the Houseman family its emotional foundation, the calm center that kept everything from falling apart. Kelly Bishop was born on February 28, 1944, in Colorado Springs and was already a celebrated Broadway star before entering film. She won a Tony Award and built a reputation as one of the strongest stage performers of her generation, admired for her precision and emotional control. Years later, she would once again become a television icon through her unforgettable role as Emily Gilmore in the TV show Gilmore Girls, one of the most powerful and memorable mother figures of the early 21st century. Now at 82, Kelly remains a respected figure whose career has stretched across stage, film, and television with remarkable endurance. Penny Johnson, portrayed by Cynthia Rhodes at the age of 30, became one of the film's most powerful portraits of strength and vulnerability. Penny was Johnny's longtime dance partner, a woman from a poor background forced to survive in a world where talent alone was never enough. She had to rely on both her skill and her beauty in a system filled with judgment and exploitation. On the surface, Penny was confident, graceful, and completely in control on the dance floor. But underneath was a woman carrying deep wounds from betrayal and abandonment. Through Penny, Baby was forced to confront the darker truths of adulthood, where women often paid the highest price for choices that were never entirely their own. Cynthia Rhodes was born on November 21, 1956, in Nashville, and became one of the defining dance film stars of the 1980s. She built a strong reputation through films like Flashdance and Staying Alive, earning recognition as one of the most technically gifted actress dancers of her era. At the height of her success, Rhodes made the surprising decision to step away from Hollywood after marrying Richard Marx, choosing family life over fame. Now at 69, she lives quietly, far from the spotlight, leaving behind a legacy tied to some of the most iconic dance films of her generation. Lisa Houseman, portrayed by Jane Brucker at the age of 29, brought a gentle but essential presence to the story. Lisa was Baby's older sister, raised in the same comfortable world yet completely different in spirit. She was carefree, a little vain, sometimes awkward, but always honest about her feelings. If Baby represented the painful journey into adulthood, Lisa reflected the innocence of youth before reality truly arrived. In many moments, Lisa softened the heavier emotional weight of the film with her natural humor and sweet, slightly clumsy charm, reminding audiences of the lighter side of growing up. Jane Brucker was born on May 14, 1958, in Virginia, and while she never became as globally recognized as some of her co-stars, she remained a familiar face of late 1980s American cinema. After Dirty Dancing, she gradually stepped away from the spotlight and shifted her focus toward screenwriting and behind-the-scenes creative work, choosing a quieter life far from the noise of Hollywood. Now at 68, Jane lives a private life and remains a nostalgic part of one of America's most beloved coming-of-age films. Neil Kellerman, portrayed by Lonnie Price at the age of 28, represented the image of a young man born into privilege but living under the enormous shadow of his family's expectations. As Max Kellerman's grandson, Neil was seen as the future heir to the famous resort, yet he often lacked the confidence, maturity, and life experience needed to carry that weight. He moved through life with comfort and security, but rarely understood the deeper struggles of the people around him. Neil reflected a generation of wealthy young Americans who seemed to have everything, yet often felt disconnected from the realities of love, sacrifice, and responsibility. Lonnie Price was born on March 9, 1959, in New York, and first built his reputation as a promising talent in American musical theater before stepping into film. While he never became a major Hollywood star like some of his Dirty Dancing co-stars, he found lasting success behind the scenes as a respected stage and television director, earning critical praise and Tony Award nominations for his work. Now at 67, Price lives a quiet life but remains a highly influential figure in the world of theater and performing arts. Stan, portrayed by Wayne Knight at the age of 32, turned what could have been a small supporting role into a colorful part of the resort's world. As the entertainment manager, Stan helped organize the performances and quietly stood at the center of everything happening behind the scenes. With his friendly nature, awkward charm, and sharp eye for detail, he often felt like the one keeping the rhythm of the entire place together. Through Stan, audiences caught glimpses of the class tensions, forbidden romances, and hidden tragedies unfolding beneath the polished surface of the resort. Wayne Knight was born on August 7, 1955, in New York, and later became one of the most recognizable character actors in American pop culture. He gained worldwide fame through his unforgettable supporting roles as Newman in Seinfeld and Dennis Nedry in Jurassic Park. Wayne proved that a supporting actor could leave just as powerful a mark as any leading star. Now at 70, he continues working steadily in voice acting and television, while enjoying his longtime passions for history and collecting books. Vivian Pressman, portrayed by Miranda Garrison at the age of 37, became one of the film's most seductive and emotionally layered characters. Vivian was more than just a wealthy guest at the resort. She was a woman who understood desire, power, and loneliness better than most. Her complicated history with Johnny pulled him between the weight of the past and the uncertainty of the present. Vivian embodied mature attraction, confident in what she wanted and unafraid to use her charm to get it. Yet beneath that polished surface was the emptiness of someone who had spent too many years chasing pleasure without ever finding peace. Miranda Garrison was born on May 7, 1950, in California, and built her legacy not only as an actress but as one of Hollywood's respected choreographers. Her work helped shape some of the most memorable dance sequences of her era, making her a quiet but powerful force in dance-driven cinema. After Dirty Dancing, she continued working as a choreographer and movement coach on major productions, earning lasting respect in the industry. Now at 76, Miranda lives a private life, dedicating much of her time to teaching and developing the performing arts. Thank you for taking this journey back through those unforgettable memories with us. Time may have changed so much, and many familiar faces may now be gone, but the emotions they left behind still remain. If those memories are still alive in your heart, we hope to see you again on the next nostalgic journey.